Welcome to the Motor Mouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews each and every week, and halfway through we stop for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. And you liked it, so we spun it off. We're up to 102. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning I put a post out on Instagram with Zach and I holding coffees. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
How can EVs survive when the cost to insure them will be extremely high once damage to the battery area is factored in? Well, damage to the battery area, depending on whether the battery can be replaced or cells within the battery can be replaced, it will all come down to cost of the vehicle. So if you damage the battery and there is a higher cost on the battery and the vehicle isn't worth that much more money, the insurance company is definitely going to write the vehicle off. And it works the same with gas models. If you have a lot of damage to the vehicle and the car isn't worth as much, they're going to write that off as well.
Yeah, we're seeing studies around different jurisdictions where insurance rates for electric cars are much higher. Here in the province of British Columbia, our insurance agent said they're about $500 more than a regular gas car to insure. And that's, that's quite a bit of gasoline you could buy with that. Is it enough to offset the other savings? Probably not. But yeah, I think it's going to be more and more of an issue as more and more EVs are on the road and more are getting written off. Insurance will reflect that. So I don't know what to say other than...
We see that now. Some people love the whole EV driving experience, that quick acceleration, smooth ride, quiet cabin. I get it. And they won't factor that in just because they love the driving experience so much. So I think it really comes down to the person. Thank you for all the great videos. Thank you for watching. My question is about Mazda's pretty consistent poor reliability scores, like the initial quality video you did. I bought a brand new 6 in 2008 and drove it for 10 years with no problems. In 2018, my wife and I bought a new 3 and CX5. Again, no problems so far. So 2022 combined years of driving Mazdas with 0 problems seems reliable to me. Do you think we've just been lucky, or it's because we buy new and take good care of them, or are these things essentially paid advertising and Mazda doesn't pay to play? P.S. Pretty sure my next will be a new Miata in that hot red. Well, I think that's a good choice. Miata in hot red.
Well, the issue that they're having at Mazda is that they've come up with 2 new cars in the last year and a half, are the CX-90 and the CX-70. They have gas and then they have the plug-in versions.
Yeah. And
haven't gone perfectly. There have been problems with the transmission, and so that's affecting their initial quality. But if you look at Mazda dependability, their 3-year dependability, they score quite high.
Yeah.
And those cars you're mentioning, the 3, the 6, and the CX-5 are all legacy platforms and engines that they just perfected and made them better and better. So if you like that, then buy one of those now.
Well, the CX-5, the CX-30, whether you're getting the turbo or non-turbo powertrain, it's been around for a long time. And that 6-speed automatic transmission, some people complain that there's not enough gears, but boy, was it ever reliable. And it is smooth. Now they've got this 8-speed automatic transmission, and yeah, it's had some issues, bit laggy transmission. So they've got some things to work on, but overall, Mazda as a brand is very reliable, which shows with your 20 plus years of experience with the brand that they have been very reliable.
Well, I think the Miata is going to be fantastic.
And
you're going to love it.
Fantastic. So don't worry about it. And it's not about paying to play. With these studies at all. It's just that they have new vehicles, and there's another new one coming, the CX-50 hybrid. So we'll have to wait and see how that is. Looking forward to driving it. Do you still have peckers in the backyard banging away, or have they moved on? Always love the show, you two. Thank you.
Yeah, so you're referring to, we have had 2 years in a row, woodpeckers pecking. We have an old weeping birch tree, and the problem is, well, here on the West Coast, the weeping birch, they get this disease and the top of the tree is kind of dead.
Yeah.
And so they go, ooh, this is a good place to peck and make our nest. So they've come back to the same place 2 years in a row, and they've had their chickadees, and they're kind of gone now, right?
Yeah, they're kind of gone. You see them around in the neighborhood or the front yard or sometimes even in the backyard, but they're no longer in the tree. It happens pretty fast. Like all of a sudden they're there and they're building a nest, and then these babies come and then they all leave, and you never see them teaching their babies how to fly. You don't. All of a sudden, they're just all gone. Whereas crows, you do see how they teach their little ones to fly, and they go wild on you if you're anywhere near them.
That short period of time when they're hatched and then they leave, it isn't that long. It only seems like only just a few weeks. But boy, those buggers eat a lot. Yeah. And those parents are flying and bringing stuff back, and they're like squawking them out, and they're always feeding them, and then they get fat quickly, and then they fly away.
We've had so much luck.
Wish
in
your
our
kids
backyard.
would do that, eh, hon? Feed them, move out.
No, they like home too much. They like hanging around. And plus it's cheap, right, for them. So we've had a lot of luck.
For us.
No, we've had a lot of luck in our backyard with birds. We had a nest being built in a bicycle helmet, and the babies were there, and it really stressed me out because our kids have a lot of people over, and they're in the backyard in the summer, and I'm like, it was right by our shed, and I'm like, watch it, don't open that door, there's babies in there. And I was so stressed about it all. Anyway, they left the nest, and one of our neighbors said, I wish I had a backyard like yours where they just came and stayed and did their thing. The nest was pretty cool looking too.
They were tiny little birds.
Yeah. Hi, Andrea and Zach. Loving the show. I'm currently leasing a 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV and absolutely love every aspect of the vehicle except one. The gas engine's miles per gallon after the battery has been depleted. Any word of Mitsubishi is working to improve the fuel economy for the powertrain. That is one of the biggest complaints I hear about the Outlander plug-in hybrid. Once the battery is depleted, the fuel economy is a lot higher than some of the other plug-in hybrids on the market. No, Mitsubishi is not working to improve on that. But we always say it's a real balance. You know, there are times where you're going to get really good fuel economy, and if you do deplete the battery, it's not going to be that great.
All right, so you get 61 kilometers of EV range, right? So you've got to look at your PHEV as averaging down your overall fuel costs, averaging down. So there will be times when it's less efficient in the winter, for example, or when you're off the juice. But just keep in mind that for that 61 kilometers, you're not using any gas.
No.
So you're averaging down your average fuel economy. And it is an issue, and it is an issue with plugins generally, is they're heavier. We had that with the X5. Remember, we talked about the fuel economy on the X5 plug-in is worse than the regular inline six-cylinder. So it's like, so it depends on the kind of driving you do. If you can keep it in that range, you're golden.
You're golden. You're going to get great fuel economy. So unfortunately for you, this one in particular, the Outlander plug-in hybrid, I noticed that when I saw the numbers when the battery was depleted, and I said to Zach, wow, those aren't great numbers. Not a whole lot better than a gas model. So, you know, just find a balance if you can. And I'm sure if you looked at your overall fuel economy, you would be still impressed with the vehicle. I'm curious what your thoughts are on car insurance. Premiums continue to increase heavily over the years due to disasters and crime. When does it end?
Well, it's not just that. It's also the technology. Like you think about the modern cars that we're all driving today, or, you know, the cars you can buy today. I was on the phone with my dad. My dad's 91, and he's thinking of buying a new car. He wants to get the same car as my brother, the Prius Prime.
He loves the
Prius
Prime.
And he loves it because it's got all the advanced, and he doesn't drive anymore. It's for his wife. It's all the advanced safety features, driving at night, all that kind of stuff. Well, all of that stuff's expensive to fix. So one of the problems is these cars all have sensors, they've all got cameras, they've got all of this stuff. So even in a fender bender, even a windshield replacement, if you have to replace the windshield, you have to recalibrate the cameras, right? So all of this stuff's expensive to fix.
But we all want the extra technology, and I think that's the issue. There's just more stuff in vehicles today. And you mentioned theft. Yeah, that has become a huge problem, especially in Canada, more so in Ontario and Quebec, where insurance rates are going up. And if you buy a vehicle that is likely to get stolen or has been stolen many times, with you, a vehicle that you continue to buy, you are going to pay more in insurance for that vehicle. It's also based on age of vehicles, like our GTI. We're like, oh man, why is the insurance so high on our GTI? And our insurance broker said, because it's a young person's vehicle.
Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. We're in our Cayenne diesel, and we also have an older Cayenne GTS, which has a V8, 408 horsepower, manual transmission, just a unique car.
Yeah.
There's one of 31 that were in the country. It's $1,000 less a year to insure than this car because it's older and it has less tech in it, right?
It does. And when we bought our Honda Civic, we wanted forward collision warning because our boys are young drivers and that was the one they were going to drive. That was tricky to find, but our insurance broker told us if you have that for a young person who's just starting to drive, your insurance won't be as high. It's still high for young people.
All right, so you can buy an older, lower tech car, will probably be cheaper to insure.
When will you purchase your first EV? If you had to get an EV today, what would it be?
Well, there's the practical side, and then there's the like I kind of like it and I would like to have it side. For the I kind of like it and like to have it, it would be the BMW i4. Love that one. But the practical side, I just love the Chevy Bolt.
Yeah.
I love the Chevy Bolt.
It's cute, it's small, it's easy to maneuver in the city, and it's inexpensive. I'm with Zach. The i4 BMW is the one that really gets me excited, but it's not practical. So if you've got to take people with you and you need the extra cargo space, it's not the best option, but that is the one that really got me the most excited.
Well, I think the thing about the Bolt that we like is that when it was sold up until this year, it was the sort of like best bargain EV you can get. And for what we would use it for, which is just bombing around town, it would be absolutely perfect for that. So they are going to bring it back. When it's going to be introduced, I'm not quite sure, but the Bolt will come back on the new Ultium platform, and hopefully they can keep the price low. General Motors has brought out new vehicles like the Chevy Equinox EV with really sharpened their pencil on the price. So I'm hoping for the updated Bolt, they'll be able to do the same thing.
We've got viewers who actually own the Blazer EV and they are loving it. They love the ride quality and so far so good for reliability. No issues with it. Honda Accord Hybrid or new Camry Hybrid? Such a tough one, isn't it?
Well,
they're both so good.
Yeah, the new Camry I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
And the Accord is very good too. I would say the Accord is probably going to be more of the driver's car, just the suspension and the handling. It's a little bit more connected, but the Camry is hard to beat because it has better, I mean, you're buying a hybrid, you want good fuel economy. The Camry gets better fuel economy and has the highest quality scores. And I would suspect probably is maybe better resale value.
I also like the XSE model, the sportier version of the Camry. I think it looked pretty cool. It handled very well. We do like that model a lot, but I also like the Accord Hybrid so much. That would be a real toss-up for me.
Got to drive them both and see what you like. There's no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer. Both are terrific.
If it's just about fuel economy, Camry's going to be the one.
Oh, and also the Accord Hybrid is pretty pricey. It gets up there in price. As we know with Honda models, they're charging a premium.
That's a great point, Andrea, because when we drove the Camry, we were shocked by how disciplined Toyota was with the pricing. And when you look at the pricing between the two, it's kind of a no-brainer. Camry's going to win.
And we talked to Toyota about that, and they said, you know what? Sedans are just not selling the way SUVs are selling, and we needed to come to the table with a very competitive product with more standard features and a great price point, especially on the lower trims.
Another one, all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive.
So Honda doesn't have, okay, so it's adding up. Better fuel economy, better price, available all-wheel drive. And Andrea likes the looks, and I think I agree with you, the looks of the Camry. So there you go. Just go get a Camry.
Hi guys, love your content. Thank you. I need help considering either the Cadillac XT4V all-wheel drive or the XT4 Sport all-wheel drive. Both are $67,000 in configuration, but have 109-inch wheelbase, 38-foot turning circle. The XT4 has a lowish 6.7 inches ground clearance for more car-like ride. Both feel like home when I'm in them. Have watched your YouTube videos and Andrea's latest update on the XT4. Which do you believe will give me the best ownership experience? Equation, smiles per kilometers, plus costs and resale after 5 years of mostly city driving. Really appreciate your feedback.
All right, I'm just going to jump in here right now. Okay, a little shorter with the questions, okay? A little shorter. Just go XT4, CT4. I'm being cheeky, but yes.
Smiles.
Smiles per mile, all that. Anyway, we get it, but just a little shorter, please. Okay, you 3, 2, 1, and then you say which one you want, okay?
Oh, God. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
CT4. And I'd get the V if you can.
Yeah, if you're between the V and the XT4, as much as we love driving the XT4, Newfoundland did a great job. It's never going to compete with a sedan for smiles per mile.
Never.
And
And that one in particular.
Yeah. No, that's the CT4. It's not
we
the
like the CT5.
We like the CT5.
But I like the CT4, but it was the Bengals. What was it? Chris Bengals' butt?
Chris Bangle butt. It had a bit of a Chris Bangle butt. It had a bit of a frumpy bum on the back of the CT4. Anyway, the other thing is, like, listen, if you're up to XT4 price, you're up to CT4V, you know what? The CT5V might be sitting on the lot over there, and you might be able to get a deal because that's the one you want.
That one's fabulous. But I did enjoy the CT4 as well. Resale value, I mean, that's a good question. One's an SUV and one's a sedan. You're obviously going to have more interest in an SUV
Of course.
Than you will ever in a sedan. So maybe get the CT4 and keep it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about resale value.
No. You don't do that. You save a little more, and you get the CT5V, and then you keep that one. That's the car.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, between, I know you didn't ask in your lengthy, long question about the CT5, but coming from us,
good.
That was our car of the year for 2021, was the CT5V.
And it was summertime when we drove it and did the review. And we were like, really, is it that good or is it just summertime fun? So we got it back in December when the weather was crummy. And the minute I got in that CT5V, wow. Zach called me on the phone. He's like, so what do you think? Yes.
It's everything I remember.
100%.
I would love one. I want the blue one with the bright wheels. I've configured that many times on the calculator there, Andrea, at General Motors. I think we should get a long-term test of a CT5V. I tell you what, Cadillac, we'd like a long-term test of a Blackwing.
Blackwing. No, we have nowhere to park these vehicles anymore, Zach. We get 2 press cars a week. We have our own vehicles. I mean, it's just...
I'll find a place for it.
It's insane. You know, going back to that question about what EV we would drive or buy if we were, I wanted to add in there, and then I forgot, is that we own all of our vehicles now. And yes, they're gas models, but there's something about owning a vehicle and not having a payment on it, which... I'm really enjoying. So I feel like we're just going to hang on to these vehicles for a longer period of time.
Also, we have to wait for our son. He's level 1 electrician to get his red seal so he can put in the charger in the back because, Pop doesn't want to pay for it.
No.
So I'll pay for the materials and I'll buy you beer. But I want, after the job is done, he gets the beer. I want him to put it in.
Oh, yeah, he'll do it for sure. Charlie's great. A friend of mine is looking for a new vehicle, drives very low kilometers, less than 5,000 a year, narrowed down the choices to Audi Q3 or the Mini Countryman. Which would you suggest? I suggested to not go electric as very low kilometers and unsure about long-term life for an electric Mini. I can tell you which one I would go for like that.
I know. Should I tell you what Andrew's going to go for?
Tell me.
Countryman.
100% hands down. Countryman.
Okay,
I'm going to own one of those one day.
Is that the... You just told me I can't have a CT5V.
I'm not buying it right
here
now.
You want a Countryman. We need to move out to the out to the country and have a big barn. That's what we need.
Exactly what we need. But we're not moving to the country, so we're just here. But maybe one day, I don't know, I'd have a hard time getting rid of this Cayenne that we're sitting in here. But if we didn't need this space, maybe the Countryman would come in and we would get rid of the Cayenne one
That's
day.
what I wanted to ask you. Do you want the current Countryman that looks good? and has all the buttons on the inside? Or do you want the new one that's kind of ugly?
I want the old one. That's the one I want.
Where were we? I can't remember where. Oh, I was walking down Broadway here in Vancouver, and I saw a Mini scoot by, scootily doot, just the 2-door Mini with the new body style, and it was, I believe it was electric. It looked not bad actually.
I think we'll get used to it in the market. So for now, I'm in love with the Countryman, the 2024 model. Doesn't mean I'm not going to get used to the Countryman in the new model.
The Q3 is good value.
Great value.
And the thing is with the Countryman is a lot of stuff that's in Mini or is not in Mini. Like even though it's a premium price by a premium mark, which BMW owns them, they don't have a lot of things. Like they didn't have I think there was no power seats and no power liftgate, and even a heated steering wheel like when we drove it 2 years ago. But a lot of that's being rectified.
It has, and I also didn't like the driver display too. It looks like it's just pasted.
Yeah, cheap.
So I think it's improved in other areas.
But so I think when we get the CT5V and then the Mini Countryman, then the fleet will be. Oh no, and we want a Maverick too.
You know what I would get in the Countryman? The color that I absolutely love is that green, the British racing green. I just think it looks fabulous. And anyone who drives the Mini looks so cool, don't you think?
Even me?
Even you.
All right, we'll leave it there. We're all out of time. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out on Instagram with Zach and I holding coffees. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show. Thanks for watching.
Got to go because it's all done.
It's all done.